This is Next Radio 2016 with Broadcast Bionics. Innovative solutions for creative people.
Thank you so much. You know those awful situations where somebody is threatening to jump off a very tall building? And you've known it. And they bring in the negotiators with their megaphones. I was talking to a guy the other day who knows the people who train the people on the ground. If ever you doubt the power of words, just think about that situation where the wrong word, the wrong question can send them over the top. We're in words, and whatever the future holds, this wonderful, exciting, changing medium of ours, whatever the future holds, the next 10, 20, 30 years, words will always matter. They will always matter by definition. So why is it that broadcasters in this wonderful country of ours seem to open the fader and not give a toss what they're about to say? They don't give it any thought. They agonize more about the words of the tweets they're about to draft because they can see the response, they can see whether it engages, rather than what they're about to say in the next link. It's a frightening thought, isn't it? And we've got to think more about the words that we use. Let me give you a little illustration of what I mean by disc jockey talk. When you select a book from the bookshelf of your favorite bookshop, you look at it, first paragraph, it sucks you in. You're deep fried in the plot within seconds, aren't you? Now, just imagine, indulge me for a second, imagine that your archetypal, your stereotypical disc jockey writes that opening paragraph in a book. It would read a little like this. Well, a very good morning to you. I'm here right the way through till page 365. Loads of great chapters in the book, and before we start, can I just thank the person that wrote the book that you last read? He'll be back in 5 years' time. You know, it doesn't make a great deal of sense. Thank you. We need to think a little more about it. I mean, restaurants get it right. You know, you go into any restaurant in London and look at their menu, even in Hull. You know, go into their... Steve Taylor joke there. Go in there, look at the language. You will read about a bed of wilted lettuce. I don't know what it is, but it's great. You will hear about substances being drizzled on your food, always drizzled, won't you? And lashings of our delicious homemade sauce. Powerful words. The scientists say when you hear words like that, it makes you actually salivate. That's what they suggest. Just amazingly powerful. If I say sizzling steak, you are salivating. The power of words that can be used on radio. It's an interesting comparison. Some disc jockeys get it right, don't they? Some disc jockeys, some presenters really do use words well, and I could name a lot of them. Zane Lowe, music presenter. His last show, I remember, he played a Killers song and he talked about a gig, and so many presenters would say, "Want to see a gig?" It's great. He said, "When I hear that song, I see smiling faces, and it will forever be that way." And I remember those words because they were so powerful. He was so good at delivering a story. That's what it's about, telling stories. There's a lovely podcast I listened to a few weeks ago with Corrie Caulfield, the wonderful Radio 4 announcer. And she was saying, remember, when you read the news, you're delivering news stories. They are stories. They're sometimes horrific stories, but they are stories. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The words you choose and the way you deliver them are absolutely critical. Here's a guy that you might not recognize. It's Andrew Stanton, who is the director of films like Nemo and Toy Story. And he says that storytelling is like joke telling. Every sentence you use should equip you from the beginning to the end to your goal. And ideally, that goal should strike a human truth. That's what he says about storytelling. Storytelling, joke-telling, the same sort of techniques are used as you journey from A across to B. Now, we're talking therefore about words, and we're talking about the way we use them. We could do an hour on each of these topics, or a whole day if you'd like to pay me to. But, this is just a snapshot. You We know the power of the word you. Why do accomplished presenters not get it? It's a single listener. I was with one of the presenters, Nicky Horn, from the early days of Capital. He said his program director, Michael Buck, used to actually make him cut out a picture of his loved one and stick it in front of him and said, talk to her. That's what to do. You know, I would not stand here and refer to you as they. It would be just ridiculous. The power of you, the power of I, the first person telling a story, a personal story. Don't use don't. Don't forget to join me. God, I never get my head around that phrase. Don't forget to join me. What a strange way of doing it. Now is a powerful word. Let's is a powerful word. Put your arm around the listener. You and the listener. Let's do something together. So the power of words. And the second thing, of course, is how you deliver those words. Pause, pace, pattern, register. Register the way you pitch your voice. We know that lower voices, male or female, there's more trust down there than there is up there. Ask certain politicians. The pause and the pace we've talked about. Horse racing goes quicker, doesn't it? Pause. Incredibly powerful, used correctly, and sticks out so beautifully on radio, doesn't it? And pattern as well, prosody, if you like, the way you intone your sentences. You know, why, oh why do we have newsreaders who hammer out the last word of every sentence? Think, why are you delivering it like that? Natural delivery, pause, pace, pattern, register is a quick summary of how to use your voice. We know that leaders have made place a huge amount of importance on the words they choose and how they deliver them. And there are many, many case histories like this. Churchill, of course, you know, he did quite a few good links, didn't he? I mean, to have your links remembered all these years on, they were pithy, they were tight, weren't they? Great links, still remembered all these years on. He used to have, I don't know if you've seen his desk, he was a hip jock. He used to stand up writing his speeches, and he walked around because he wanted to get some inspiration. When you're writing a promo, think about Churchill walking around in his office. You know, he wrote a promo that persuaded a nation it could win the war. That's a hell of a promo to write. So, you know, where you sit and how you dream up your ideas and the creativity, take yourself away from the piece of paper and into this space. The other thing that's interesting about Churchill, and this was revealed in a Radio 4 program just a few weeks ago, it was about the delivery. And they said that if you edit out the gaps in his speeches when you play them back, they aren't half as powerful, and they demonstrated it. And it's absolutely true. So maybe we won the war through Wogan-like pauses. It's an amazing thought. But, you know, let's give a little more attention to radio, because I don't know about you, you see the awful pictures from Syria on TV, and there they are, awful tragedy unfolding. And what do? Carry on eating your yogurt and plump your cushions, because that's how telly is. But when I'm driving home listening to the brilliant, inspired Eddie Mair on PM, and he plays a package from Aleppo with a correspondent giving a first-hand account of how things are there, I was moved to tears as I sat in a traffic jam, because on radio, you can't pixelate brutality, the power of words. I'm going to finish off with this slide because I'm told to finish off with the slide of pointers. Don't take a picture of it, it's nonsense. All I'm saying really is don't just speak, say something. Thank you.
This is Next Radio 2016 with Broadcast Bionics. Innovative solutions for creative people.